Well, good morning, adventurers. Bright and early here Saturday morning. Beautiful morning. If you can't tell, sun's out brilliantly. Sky's completely blue. It's totally awesome waking up like this. You know, it's much better than waking up in the rain. It is a little bit later. I did get up about 8:30. It's about 9:30 now. I got a few camp chores done. Get ready to do breakfast here in a minute, and do have to go filter about a liter of water to get breakfast and just have something to drink this morning and for the hike back out. Really good night. Went to bed about, I believe it was about 12:30. Rested really well. I stayed warm for the most part. My feet did get a hair bit chilly a couple of times last night. I did wake up about 6:15, I think it was, and looked at my watch. It was 36 degrees. The tent, I slept well in it. The air mattress held up against the cold. The sleeping bag keeps you warm, but it's a little tight for me. I was bunched up the whole night. My shoulders are actually a hair bit sore because of it. So I believe anything below 40 degrees, I'm either going to have to get a new sleeping bag or just carry my hiking bike cocoon and use it as a sleeping bag, because it's definitely wide open and it's huge. So, and it compacts down really small, and I actually think it weighs less than this one. I just wanted to try this one out to see what I thought about it. A smaller person, it would be really comfortable. Any of my kids. Jenny has wide shoulders, so I figure she probably would have a hard time in it as well. I know she slept in it before. She says it's a little constricting, so I may have to invest in a better sleeping bag for her to go out in the fall. Of course, generally, she really doesn't care to do any of the winter camping or fall camping, so it may not be something I have to worry about. But if I decide I want a sleeping bag, I may get one, or I may just go with a nice overquilt. I've thought about doing that anyway. Maybe get a 20-degree quilt and try to use that. So we'll see what happens, what I decide to do. But yeah, that sleeping bag just was very constricting for me. Definitely an awesome morning, guys. Well, guys, I went down and filtered a liter of water, and I've got about 8 ounces boiling. Actually, it's about closer to 10 to get my oatmeal and some tea this morning. It's gonna be awesome. As I was filtering, there was a group coming in, and of course they were coming across the water, and I heard them speaking about staying in Site 3, which is what I'm in. I would assume they didn't go up to the kiosk and see that I had registered for this site for 2 nights. I don't know. You know, definitely when you go to Mohican, make sure you check that kiosk. You don't want to waste a hike in and find someone in the site you wanted. I tried to catch them as they went by just now. I was going to let them know that I was leaving sight, but they kind of got past me. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to tell them. They kind of went by real quick. I looked up and they were way over here. I was like, oh, sorry. We'll walk up for a second, see if maybe they come back. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to stop them real quick. Guess I should have told them down at the water, but the thing is, I have debated staying tonight, and it would kind of suck having to share a site with somebody, but this site is big enough, I wouldn't mind it. I mean, I would even give them the main area, and I could just scoot on over to one of the sides, no big deal. Because I am going to pack up, of course, and go hike a little while. Even if I do stay. But yeah, definitely here at Mohican, make sure you check the kiosk that's just up from the covered bridge. It's about a half mile to a mile up the road from the covered bridge. Check that kiosk so you can make sure you get a site that's open and you don't run the risk of hiking in a couple of miles, a mile, whatever you may do, and find someone in your site and they're registered and you're not, so of course they won't get the site. It's their site. Now a lot of times, hikers, especially at some of these larger sites, they'll be willing to share, but there are some people, one, either you don't want to share with them or two, they just tell you to pack on and go on somewhere else. Me being a single person here, just one tent, I would be like, yeah, come on in, guys. Y'all can find you a spot. I mean, even maybe share some of the duties getting wood. That would be awesome, because last night kind of sucked. I spent 2 hours getting firewood and processing it, where if I'd have had multiple people here, it wouldn't have taken nowhere near as much time. Now, I was able to burn a fire until midnight, so 4.5, 5 hours is not bad. And I doused it, got it put out real good, and went on to bed. The embers did kind of catch and stay lit throughout the night a little bit. I kind of kept an eye on it, but it was okay because it's in that fire ring. Now, if it wasn't in a fire ring, I would have probably went down and got even more water and put it further out, but it's out fully now. I did add a little bit more water to it this morning to make sure there was no embers deep down. Kind of sifted through the ashes, made sure there was no embers. So yeah, everything was good there. So I'm all packed up and heading out of Site 3 now. It's about 11 o'clock, which isn't bad. I kind of took my time getting packed up and getting ready to get out of here. Not in a big rush to do anything today. Just wanting to get back up here to the car, kind of prepare me a day pack, and then go hike a couple of trails, get a little bit of miles under my belt, and then head home. I'm not going to stay tonight. I checked the weather. It's actually supposed to start raining later tonight, early morning. So, one, like I said, I really don't want to stay at campsite 3 again. And 2, where I've already been there so many times. And then 3, with the rain coming in, I'm like, well, I could just go on home. It's no big deal. Just don't see a reason to stay another night, especially if it's going to rain. There is actually like a 40% chance of rain as early as like 8 o'clock. So even trying to do a fire may be kind of out of the question. Of course, that actually goes up to like 90% roughly at midnight. So yeah, I'm just, going to head home. The tent's dry and packed up, ready to go for next trip. Going across this water again. Same path as yesterday. The water's the same level, so no big deal getting out of here. But yeah, I don't really see a reason to stay tonight. I think it'll just be better to go home and get ready for the next trip, which hopefully will be 2 weeks from now. Well, regardless, I'm doing a trip 2 weeks from now, and it will be a 2-nighter wherever I go. Like I said, that's the trip I'm hoping my brother Jason actually will be able to go with me. Now I do have an order of business to do this morning before I actually do go anywhere. I am going to go up to the kiosk and kind of remove my name from tonight at site 3. That way if anybody else comes in and either there's another site available, which there wouldn't be, or they'd just like to have site 3, it'll be open for them. Because, you know, it's not fair to leave my name up there on that kiosk as someone who's going to be staying at site 3 tonight, and I'm not doing that. Give everybody an opportunity. If anybody comes out and they want to backpack over to site 3, they have the opportunity. I don't think that's only fair. Let's see. Got group over here at site 2. Looks like they just showed up, so that kind of stinks because there was supposed to be somebody there last night and nobody was there. That's okay. I had a good night where I was. Okay guys, I'm about a third of the way up the switchbacks after point C, heading up to the car, if you see. But right up in here, I just startled something, and it was a little bit bigger, so I'm kind of hoping it was a deer, and I want to see if maybe I can get that on film for us. So we'll kind of creep up here a little bit slower, a little bit quieter, but it was right up on that ridge, which is where I'm heading because this switchback leads up there. I don't know if I'm gonna get it, but I did hear it kind of dart off, but it didn't go very far. So we'll see what we can do here, guys. Yeah, these switchbacks are nowhere near as bad as I remember them. A little bit more experience under my belt, a little bit more conditioning. Of course, I mean, the last time I actually did these switchbacks, I also weighed 220, and I'm at 195 now. Big difference, guys. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Stop for a minute and see if I hear something. Whatever it was, it may have just kind of darted for a second and then walked away slowly, quietly. Yeah, because it was right in here that I heard it. General area from where it came from, the sound came from, right over here. Yeah, because I thought at first it could be a group on horses, and because I actually have seen one of those come through today, but doesn't appear to be. I think that was voices from the camp because it's right up there. Unfortunately, whatever it was, I'm not gonna get it on video. It kind of stinks. I was really hoping to get it for you guys. It's kind of neat looking. But missed opportunity. Not the right place, right time. Just a couple minutes off. Oh well, maybe next time. Alright, I'm gonna finish up this trail, guys. I was looking at the map here at Mohican and just kind of wanted something kind of close so I didn't have to move the car too much. I did go up to the kiosk and remove myself from tonight from site 3, but decided I was going to go over here. There's a green trail. It's supposed to be roughly 5 miles. I figure I can do that. It is about 12:30 now. I did kind of piddle around at the car for a few minutes, pack a day pack, things like that. So I'm going to take a look at this green trail. It seems like it's going to be just a little short, loop where I could probably knock it out in a couple hours. Then I'm probably going to go get a bite to eat somewhere and head home, which would be really awesome. It's a beautiful day now. Has warmed up. It's in the mid 50s. So definitely feeling really good. The oatmeal carried me for a little while. I do have some snacks and a pack of tuna in my day pack here, if I decide I want to stop and grab a little bite to eat here in a little bit. And I have a liter bottle in my pocket, which is really cool. These pants actually hold a liter bottle in one of the side pockets. And also I have a 24-ounce bottle in my day pack. So I've got plenty of water for this trip. This little trail here, this should be fun. And the trail just kind of goes right through here. I don't know what this trail is going to look like or what it's going to entail, so I'm hoping it'll be kind of cool. If nothing else, just a little bit more conditioning for this weekend. Ooh, that's a nice little incline there, guys. It's going to be interesting going up that. Seems to be pretty gradual, and it looks like it's all dirt, so it shouldn't be that bad. But yeah, definitely just knocking out a little day hike here at Mohican after camping last night. It's gonna be fun. There were a lot of people over there at the bridal camp. I mean, it was jam-packed, and I was like, oh, I'm glad I'm getting out of this area. That's the one drawback with sites 1 through 4 here at Mohican, the park and pack sites. They are on that bridle trail, and a lot of times you do get a lot of people down in there riding horses and just doing all sorts of things like that. And I mean, that's what it's for, and I like those park and pack sites being there, but it does make the trail a little bit harder to walk on because it's rutted. And throughout the day, periodically, you'll have the horses come through, which make a lot of noise and kind of breaks the ambience of being out in the wilderness by yourself. So it kind of sucks. But they're allowed to have their fun too. So, and it's kind of neat seeing the horses because they're magnificent type beast. Well, guys, I'm still going down this green trail. It's not even on any of the maps, but they do have signs for it, so I thought I'd try out something. It's not even listed on all trails, so let's see what it looks like. It's not very used, you can tell. It's a little overgrown, very tight, and really sucks it's right beside this road. But something different, something new that like I said, obviously a lot of people don't travel, and it's a very easy trail so far. So I'm gonna go a little ways on it, see what I think about it. I know from what I could tell, it probably, because I was looking at all trails and with the GPS, it's running adjacent to a different trail. Should be right over there, maybe a 1/10 of a mile at the most. Worst case scenario, I'm hoping maybe it crossed that and I can come back that way and just make a actual little loop. But we'll see. If not, I'll go 2-3 miles out and then just come back. It's not what I wanted to do, but it'll work. Definitely glad I got my long pants on today, because these plants are kind of snagging at my legs, and they would be kind of scratched up and tore up otherwise. So here we are. But yeah, wouldn't be bad if it wasn't right beside this road, because the sound of the cars is definitely breaking up the ambience. The solitude you like getting in the woods. I think I'm actually gonna put my headphones in, at least one side, and listen to some music. Maybe that'll kind of offset the sound of the cars here. It does look like it's moving away from the road a little bit now, so let's hope it continues further into the woods and we get away from this road. So guys, I'm about half a mile, 6/10 of a mile into this trail. Still pretty much right on top of the road. It is a little bit further away now, an additional 20-25 feet. And here we go. First sign actually indicating the trail's still here. It says keep right. So here we go. It's like a little dirt road. And got a radio tower we're going to pass. Maybe a cell tower. Like that. Oh wow. It's a big buzzard up there on that tower. Got the very tall tower there. And we're heading out this direction now. Wide open trail here. Looks like a service road of some type. But it's part of this green trail, so we're gonna follow it. Actually, in fact, oh, the trail actually goes into the woods here, guys. Look at this. Awesome. So, yeah, here we go. Just momentarily on that service road there. And now we'll start down into the woods. And get away from that road. Definitely liking that idea. So, we'll see where this leads, guys. Out exploring the Mohican State Forest, guys. Kind of neat. And as I thought, this trail did actually intersect the Blue Trail, which is a much longer loop. It's, I think, about 14 miles. I don't really have time to do that today. If I was staying tonight, it had been a possibility. And in fact, there's a way that you can kind of bisect that and cut, I think, about 4 miles off of it. So I could have done a 10-mile hike. But I just wanted something shorter where I am heading home today and happen to do the 2.5-hour drive. But this has actually turned out really nice. After it intersected the Blue Trail and went on its way, I followed the Green Trail still, and it's pretty nice woods walking. Wide open. The trail is very well developed through here. It's still not as traveled as some of the other trails in the park, but yeah, it's nice. Really digging the wood setting. I was thinking a moment ago, I really wish you could disperse camp here at Mohican, because you know some of these areas would be really nice. Like right over here, I could make a killer site. I mean, hammock or tent, either way. But I do kind of understand why they don't allow the dispersed camping here, because it is so popular, so busy. And with dispersed camping comes a lot more responsibility. You have, especially if you're going to do a fire, you would have to, build a nice fire ring and everything. And people wouldn't do that. See, still Green Trail. But, the general population, one, to an extent, doesn't know how to do that. It's something you have to learn. And two, there's a lot of people out there that really just wouldn't care. They, like, I hate to say it, those gentlemen that were camped off the side of the trail last night. They literally cleaned off an area, a dirt spot maybe 5 feet wide, didn't put any rocks down, no barriers, and had a fire directly on the ground. Now here, where it is a lot of pine, the pine needles, when they fall off the tree, as they disintegrate, they're down in the ground. If you have a fire directly on them, they can catch fire, and the fire can actually spread underground and catch the forest on fire. Now, they have a lot of problem like that out west in the pine woods, especially in like California where it's hotter. And I think they had one a few years ago in Washington where a camper had done something similar, and it basically caught fire underground to start with. So I understand why they don't allow the dispersed camping. If people were more responsible, and even on that, if people were more knowledgeable that went out camping, it'd be a different story. But like I said, the general population, one, either doesn't care, or two, is just doesn't have that particular skill set. But it is kind of nice because, you know, I, over the last few years, plus also in Scouts when I was younger, have developed some of those skills. And, you know, I'm able to do a campfire wherever I need to and start it with a flint and steel and things like that. Now, granted, of course, I do use a ferro rod. I don't actually go find the flint and steel in the woods. That's a plus. God, there's spider webs everywhere, guys. Getting cocooned again. That's why I keep rubbing my face, so if you're wondering. But yeah, definitely nice wood setting here. I'm kind of glad I come out and did this trail. I mean, unless something happens along the way where I'm like, oh, I wish I hadn't done this. But at this point in time, yeah, this has been kind of nice. Really easy walking. I hear people down that direction. May have some people coming in behind me. And if they're on horses, I'll have to step out of the way. But that's okay. So I come down a series of switchbacks. There's about 3 of them. There's a pretty decent amount of declination there. Lost a lot of elevation. I'm down in the middle of a valley now. Hey, don't. And if you can't tell, there are definitely a number of bikers on this trail. I've actually seen about 4 groups. That's the first one I've actually had to pass because I was able to see them from up on the ridge as they were going by. But there's a number of them riding through. And the good thing is I'm going, going the opposite direction of them. So I see them coming and I just step off trail, which is what you're supposed to do here. But just so you know, 2 things. As I come down that series of switchbacks, it was extremely muddy and rutted. Probably about the worst section of trail I've seen since Wildcat Hollow. But, you know, no big deal. I was able to actually skirt it. Now, if this was the wet season, or if there had been any amount of rain in the last week, that probably would have been a very interesting area to try to get through. But it wasn't bad because it is drier right now. But like I said too, definitely watch for the bikers. Let's see. Looks like they come from that direction. I don't see. I'd assume I'm going this direction because that looks like that's part of the mountain bike trail over there. And it did say that this trail is shared by horses with you know, as a warning towards the bikers. So I'm going up this hill here. Kind of guessing as I go along here. I do have a map on my phone of Mohican, so if I get a little lost, I'm okay. Plus I am running GPS through all trails. Worst case scenario, I get 3 miles in. I'm not sure where I'm at. I'll just follow that path back out. It's no big deal. And I have a pretty good sense of direction and a compass. Oh, this is going to be interesting. I was afraid of that. When I went down into the valley, I figured I would have an incline eventually. And I'm working on it now. It's kind of gradual. It's not too bad. Making sure the biker went that direction, not this way. I could get out of his way. But yeah, he's going that way. So that may be something I actually get into eventually. I used to ride a mountain bike and do things like that when I was younger. And it would be kind of neat to maybe get one and do some cycle packing. Basically, just pack a small backpack and, you know, with like a small tent or something, kind of like, you know, like as if you were hiking and backpacking. Instead, you use a bike. So I just come up a massive incline back out of that valley,
And I feel my calories kind of going. I haven't ate since about 8:30, 9 o'clock this morning. It's 10 till 2, so I'm gonna stop for about 20 minutes, get a little bit of calorie refill, eat me a little bit of, I guess you'd call it lunch. It's a small lunch because I want to have an earlier dinner. I'm hoping to be out of here off this trail in the next couple of hours, be out of here by 4. It should be doable if the trail is only 4.3 miles. And I still am on green. I just saw a trail marker right over there. So, but yeah, this is where I'm having lunch. Nice little setting here in the forest. Pine forest, loving it. This would be an awesome place to actually set up a camp too. I mean, there's plenty of trees, flat area for tents. I see 2 or 3 of them that you could use. But once again, no dispersed camping here at Mohican. Still enjoying the trail though. That incline was a little rough. There was no series. There was like one switchback, and it was pretty much all at once. And it was a little rough, but I got up it. It was okay. I only had to stop one time, and that was legs burning. I got off trail a little bit. I come across a sign. I wish I'd have got it on film. It had the green arrow, but it did this. I'm not sure what that meant. It was at a division where the trail kind of went straight, and then to the left there was an orange and a white marker. And of course the green had that weird loop. And I don't know what that meant. Somehow I went ahead and went straight, thinking maybe it looped around on the hill there. And I come out into a clearing where there was a gas main and no trails, which kind of sucked because it was down a pretty large incline. And what I did, I pulled up my GPS, and of course I have the map of Mohican loaded into it on all trails, and I noticed literally a 1/10 of a mile, 15th of a mile, 0.15, straight across the way from that gas main was the blue trail. So what I did, I kind of blazed my own trail down that hill over there and into this valley, and then come back up over here and met the blue trail. So kind of stinks I wasn't able to complete the green trail, but I still will get a loop in because the blue trail does go all the way back to the bridle camp, the horse camp, and get back to the car. I did stop and eat lunch just before I did all that just now, and that was pretty good. I had tuna, had some hard salami slices, and some almond butter. Very low in carbs, but high in calories, and definitely protein rich. So I feel pretty good. I drank the first liter I had, and I've still got about 24 ounces of water, which will be more than enough to get out of here. I've probably got less than 2 miles now, and it's only 2:30, so it's not too bad. Figure even if I have 2 miles left, I'll do that in an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 15, depending on how well the trail looks. But I did say I was going to be exploring Mohican. That was kind of interesting, blazing my own trail. I wouldn't have done that if I didn't have my GPS and a map, but I knew that it met back up with this trail. In fact, let me double check and make sure I am going south. I should be, yeah, because that's the west. Yeah, so yeah, I shouldn't have too far to go. Yeah, shouldn't be too bad. It looks like about maybe 1.75 miles to 2 miles. So I should knock that out pretty quick, and we'll get over here to the horse camp and go get me a bite to eat, and then head home. And Jane's gonna be fixing the dinner too. I'll probably go ahead and eat that if there's anything left when I get home. Of course, that's after the kids tackle it. All of them be like wanting seconds and thirds. But they wasn't out here hiking and doing 5,000 calories burn either. Still really beautiful forest, really nice day. Temperature's still in the mid-50s. They were calling for 70 here, but it hasn't got that warm, which I'm actually kosher with because I have pants on. That's one reason I still have the toboggan on, because the wind blowing through the air gets my head a little chilly. So I just went ahead and leave that on. That way I can stay warm and not have to worry about it. So I'm slowly getting closer to the car here, guys. Heading south now on the Blue Trail, which is the mountain biking trail. So I am having to kind of keep an ear out and an eye out behind me, because the mountain bikers will be going the direction I'm going. They generally ride clockwise. Technically, the easiest way to actually do the Blue Trail is to go counterclockwise, but where I start on a different trail, unfortunately, this is the way I've got to go. So definitely making sure I stay out of their way. I've had about 6 of them pass me since I got over here. And each time I've just stepped off the trail and let them go by. And they've been very appreciative of that. But making a descent down into a valley, I do believe, or at least a partial descent. I've noticed that this trail, for the most part, doesn't have a lot of up and down. It's been ridge walking with the, like 20 down, 20 up type idea, versus all the way down into a valley and then back out, kind of like you get with some of the backpacking trails. Yeah, this one's been fairly easy. I crossed the 12-mile marker back there, and if I'm right, this trail is like 14.3, so at that point in time I had like roughly 2.3 miles left. It's going to end up adding a little bit to the hike that I had planned for today, well, that I determined I was going to do today. But that's okay. 5 miles, 6 miles, that's pretty average now for me. I mean, even 8 miles doesn't really bother me. It's when I start getting upwards of that 10 to 12 that I start feeling it. So, I mean, I've walked probably half the trail today without even using my trekking poles, because it's been fairly easy. Not very technical. So, that's been kind of cool. It's afforded me a little bit more recording time. Definitely pretty valley down through there, guys. This whole area is pretty. I mean, it's really nice. I mean, for Ohio, it's one of the nicer areas. Of course, I just like being out anywhere, so still keeping an ear out for the cyclist. Really don't want to take a major spill with one of them. Yep, I'm actually getting ready to cross the 13-mile marker now. So we should have roughly 1.3 miles to the car. 1.4, somewhere in that ballpark. And this is the markers you see here on this trail. So it's kind of cool. I banged that mile out probably in about 20 minutes. That wasn't bad at all. Was able to talk to Jenny for a few minutes, let her know what I've been doing, and I'm hoping to actually be on the road heading home by 6. That includes actually stopping at a restaurant and getting a bite to eat. Haven't determined what I really want. Really don't want pizza. Whoa, that was a shock, wasn't it, guys? I'm thinking more along the lines of maybe a good hamburger or even steak somewhere. I'm not sure, because this is actually a dinner. It's not a lunch. It's probably one reason I'm kind of like, I'd rather have something other than pizza. And actually, if I remember correctly, guys, we've actually been right here. Because if I'm right, yep, that's the green trail. So we've actually met back up right here. This little section of the trail actually coincides with the green trail as well. So I do have 2 options. I'm trying to think how I would like to do this, whether I want to stay on the blue trail or just head back out through the green, kind of complete the loop that way. Kind of looking at the topography map here, seeing which would be easier. Looks like I'm gonna have an incline either direction. So I may just actually go ahead and hike the Blue Trail. I think it's going to be about the same distance, and it will be something different than what I did this morning, earlier today. Yeah, coming up here. The Blue Trail may not actually have as much of an incline, because this is actually the section I came down that I was talking about how muddy it was and such. Now I know once I got to the top of that hill there, it would be flat walking the whole rest of the way. But that incline would be interesting to go up. And like I said, we've seen that area right out there. So we're gonna go this way, guys. Something new, something different. This trail's wide open too. For the most part, it has been kind of like that, a little bit wider, a little bit nicer. I've actually enjoyed this whole section that I've done between the green trail and the blue trail, including the area that I forged my own trail, guys. Well, guys, I'm about to finish up the hike here. Probably about half a mile or less back to the car now. I came up to a section. There was a little service road back there that actually met up with the green trail. So I left the blue trail, hiked that service road for about a quarter mile, and it met up with the green trail. Basically, I'm going back out the way I came in now. I want to get off that blue trail because the direction I was hiking, it was hard to see the cyclist, and I didn't want anybody to have an accident because of me. So that's one reason I kind of came this direction. There's that radio tower where we saw the buzzard earlier this morning. So that tells you how far we've got to go. Not too much longer to get out of here, guys. There's that cell tower, radio tower, whatever it is. You can definitely hear the cars on the road over here on State Route 97 as we're getting closer here. Got back up here to the horse camp area where the car's at. Came across the road over there, completed the green trail with parts of the blue trail added in. All Trails has me at 5.1 miles for the day on that particular hike at 2 hours and 32 minutes. So that's pretty good. That's definitely 2 miles an hour. That doesn't include the roughly 3/4 to a mile that I hiked out today. So I'm a little over, probably right around 6 miles, we'll call it, for the day. So that's really cool. And like I said, that was the 5.1. Really nice trail, really beautiful area, guys. Something you guys might want to look at and come down and do yourself if you'd like. Hopefully I gave you enough information about the area while I was on that trail to get you a little heads up on what you can do over here. I'm getting ready to do the 2.5 hour drive home out west, and I'm gonna get home hopefully it's about 3:30. I'm gonna stop and grab a bite to eat, so I'm hoping at the latest it'll be 7 o'clock I'll get home. That'll be really awesome. I'm debating maybe swinging up by the kiosk and see if another site might be open. I think I'm gonna do that. If I do, we'll have a little bit more video. If not, guys, this is the end of it. For Living the Grand Adventure, I'm Kevin here at Mohican Memorial State Forest. Been an awesome trip. Guys, I'll see you in the next video on the trail. Always live your grand adventure to the fullest. Later, guys.